Shay Mitchell is on her way to my house right now, and I've set up an obstacle course, some challenges, some games, but I've also got some chili surprises in store.
Hey!
What's up, Shay?
How are ya?
Good to see you.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see
coming
you
over.
too. Hey, buddy.
This is Lincoln.
Hi, Lincoln.
I heard you're super competitive. So I've got some games laid out today.
Okay.
We've got a whole challenge, a bunch of courses, and here's the deal I'll make you.
Tell me.
If you win the whole competition, I will get you an all expense paid trip to anywhere you want in the world.
Anywhere?
Anywhere.
This is on camera, so.
If you win, you have to beat me though. I'm also very competitive.
I mean, I'm a little bit more competitive.
All right, so I thought for the first round,
Yep.
you keep it really simple and do a game of rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, I mean, I'm like the queen of this.
Are you the pro?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. The way I play is like rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Go. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, ready?
So rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, so there's a point.
Okay.
So this is the tiebreaker round.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes!
Wait, why are you celebrating?
Could-
I have paper behind here. Got
Wait, what?
paper. Boom, paper beats rock.
But you had scissors. Is this how the whole day is gonna be? You're just gonna cheat the whole time?
Okay, so I've never played this game, but I'm told it's challenging.
Okay.
You have a donut on a string, and we're blindfolded.
Right.
So when you pull down the blindfolds, eat it as fast as you can. First one to get it off the string wins.
I can do that.
Since I won the last round, you can count down.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
What? Wait, what is this? Hey, this is totally cheating. Wait, I can't eat this.
I won! Wow.
How the heck did you do this? So the next game, we're gonna meet out in the backyard.
Okay.
There's a pretty difficult challenge.
I'm ready. Oh, wow.
So this is the obstacle course.
Okay.
And yeah, we're gonna race through it. I think you should get on some athletic gear.
I think I
so you're
should
comfortable.
probably change, yeah.
Here's what we're doing. This is the third round.
Okay.
We're tied right now, 1 point each.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna do is start at the entrance. The timer's gonna begin. You have to touch the end of the slide and we'll stop the timer.
Love it. All right, so he has no idea, but I'm actually really good at these, and it's obvious I'm gonna win this one.
I practiced with my kids earlier today, so she has no idea. On your mark, get set, go! She's getting slowed down by those log things. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, oh, she almost tripped there. Oh, the wall is really slowing her down.
Oh my God! Woo!
19 seconds. Way to rock it.
Thank you.
Not bad. Let's see if I can beat it. Can you count me in?
I will.
Okay.
Good luck. 3, 2, 1, go! Come on, I don't know.
Wait, what's going on? Why is it blaming? It's so cheap. Wait. Time, what's my time?
Wow.
26? Do I get an extra 5?
No, I won.
Okay, not fair and square, but you did win. So for the fourth round, I have something to cool us down. Set up over here.
Cool us down.
So we are doing a cool plunge while we play our next game, Jenga.
Okay.
All right, so
The rest of it can just go with yours.
I think we should go in.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
I can handle it.
Whoa.
Woohoo!
Oh, I just lost like half my ice.
Woo!
Okay, you ready for a game of Jenga?
Yeah.
Let's go quick.
Okay.
What's the rules of Jenga that you do? Like,
I
is it
mean,
you
I
touch
go-
it, you use it?
Yeah, you
Oh,
touch it, you
shoot,
no.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the rule.
Is it one-handed?
It's one-handed and you can't go between the first. There's also a spider here. Is that like an added thing?
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Okay.
Who thought Jenga was so difficult?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the chickens are joining.
Oh my gosh. Literally a whole audience right here.
What are some comfortable things in your life that you enjoy that you'll be looking forward to after this?
Probably a warm coffee after this.
Do you have a coffee every day?
I do have a coffee every day.
What's your go-to
coffee
order?
or tea? I'm like a iced coffee with a couple sugar-free pumps of syrup.
You want an iced
cold
coffee
foam.
right now?
I mean, no, not right now. Now I want anything that is hot.
Oh, no, no.
Yes! Woo!
Wait.
Now you have to dunk
I have a
yourself.
little hack.
Wait, what? But
It's technically your move. Oh! And you've never lost a Jenga? There it is.
great.
Okay, so we're tied.
Yeah.
2 points for me, 2 points for you, which means we need to have a tiebreaker.
Okay. How much weirder can this get, right? Wait, what?
All right, now we sumo. Okay, so the way this works is you have to stay inside of this ring.
Okay.
First person to get out, both feet, is out. And we'll just say go.
Okay. Ready?
I can't even bend down.
Me neither. Try to stretch. 3, 2. Ah! Yeah, you can move. Oh wait,
I feel like there's been a lot of cheating going on today.
Woo! Looks like I won that one too.
You have the gun on the counting there,
No,
but
no.
a deal's a deal.
Yep.
I'll get you an all-expense paid trip. Just come back, redeem it whenever you want. I'll book it.
No, I'm actually ready. My bags are packed.
Oh,
Yeah.
when did you do that?
I mean, I knew I was gonna win, so.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
well then just let's grab them and come
Sweet.
down to the travel agency.
Here, if you wouldn't mind just.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. That's a little heavy. Travel agency.
Yeah, this is an old wine cellar that I converted into my travel agency a couple years ago.
Wow.
All right. All right, so this is my little agency.
Wow.
It looks like we can get you to all 3 of these places: Desert Dune, Paradise Island, or Yosemite.
I'm gonna go with Paradise Island.
That was a great choice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, you're booked.
When do I leave?
Let me take you there right now.
Oh, I don't have my outfit on. I need a beach outfit and my hat.
Oh, well, let me just.
Wow.
Oh, that's great. You're ready. Let's
I'm
go
ready.
to the beach.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so nice.
5 stars.
Wow, where's the hotel?
Oh, there's no hotel here. This is just deserted island.
What do you mean?
Beachfront only. but
Where am
it's
I
great.
staying? No, I need a bed, Zach.
No, I'm gonna see you later.
Was deserted island. Zach? Zach! I need a place to stay.
Thank you so much to Shay Mitchell for hanging out, for challenging me.
For winning.
Well, I don't know if it was fair and square.
I won.
And you want to talk about Base?
Yes, Base. This is my luggage travel accessory brand. Check it out at basetravel.com.
Links are all down below. 2 videos here, and subscribe right there.
Woo!
And we gotta do.
Oh, wow! It's okay. It's water resistant. We're good. Yeah.
Okay. Oh. I can't believe I haven't made this video yet. You all keep asking, how do you make your tricks? Here's the thing, magicians aren't supposed to reveal, but technically by trade, I'm not a magician. I'm a filmmaker, I make videos, so let's reveal it all. Buckle up. Buckle up? Am I a pilot or something? Emergency exits are gonna be in the... Let me show you how I made some of my top videos. Let's get into it. I've always loved the word pun of a pool table, that it could be a swimming pool and also the pool that you play billiards on. The difficult part about this video was actually building the custom swimming pool that was below, but we realized halfway through we didn't need a custom swimming pool. We actually could just put a bathtub there, so I'm technically taking a bath in this video. One of the things that made this video really complex was the reset time. Not only was all the water coming out, we had to dry the set, but I had to go change and get in a dry pair of clothes every time. And the video went super smooth, except I left something in my pocket for one of the takes. Oh my goodness. Speaking of pools and water, this is a trick I shot with Jason Derulo. Now, for a couple years, I had actually been trying to do this levitating towel trick, couldn't figure out exactly how to do it, and I was able to pull off this levitation trick with Jason because of the amazing engineering of my art team, and we figured out how to build that perfect chair to make that towel levitate. And of course, Jason's always a great sport, falling on his butt a million times.
You're gonna say and go, and you're like, and that was hilarious.
If you've watched my videos over the years, you probably noticed this theme of flying. I always love the idea of flight. What if you could use cardboard to fly? What if you could fly with an umbrella? What if instead of the Wright brothers, it was actually the wrong brother who invented the first flight and it went wrong? Now, I've always thought pressure washers, if you had a couple of them, maybe they would be strong enough to levitate you, kind of like Iron Man. So I made a video about it here. We've got a professional stunt team here. We've got a crane, of course. It was on one of the takes that I just fell a little off kilter and landed the wrong way. That video got immediately more expensive, and then I looked at it, I was like, hopefully I just hit one spot, but you can see it's both my knee marks. That's knee number 1, knee number 2. If you want to levitate without a bunch of production crew and fancy rigging and a stunt team, you can actually levitate like this at home. Check this out. Well, it's still a work in progress. The tilted room concepts are always really fun to make, except what you don't realize as a viewer is they take a lot of physical core strength. Oh. You got it?
Yep, I got it.
Which I don't have. I need to work out more.
Just follow me.
Okay.
You got this, Zach.
I'm gonna see it.
I love shooting with Dude Perfect because they're high energy, they're really creative, but they're also willing to go physically all out for their tricks. I gotta give serious props to Tyler on this one for getting hit with that ball so many times. You'll hit him in the face, right?
Pound me in the face.
He'll block. I always get a kick out of those diet soda and Mento videos, and so I thought I'd make my own with a little twist with some elephant toothpaste. I knew it was fake. Oh, look out!
Oh my gosh!
Let's get out of here!
No, what?
Stop
Oh my
it!
goodness!
Hurry, shut the door! Open the window, we gotta go out the window.
I had no idea what to expect.
Oh wow, yeah, you can really feel the heat.
Yeah.
That's hot. So we are making an alien film today, although between us, I don't believe in aliens. They're not real. Hey, Jace, come back, Jace! Oh, they have new UFO evidence? Hey, no, hey, aliens! No, that's blurry. Every time. This next one, I debated about not showing you this, but it's just funny and silly. I've never quite understood why people don't like vegetables, because I've always found them rather sweet. This is one of my all-time favorite behind-the-scenes videos because it shows that you can do things all in camera and not have to do, massive editing to it. And this is just a special piece for me too because it had my kids. We were out in the middle of the wilderness camping. It was just good times.
Jason, let's do a fire. Here you go.
Sometimes I'll treat my videos as a challenge, like let's not do a jump cut in this one, but let's actually make this one take. This one here, the snowball explosion, you can see could have been a jump cut, but we actually figured out how to move the set and just do it in one take. It was fun. Actually, that video got me pretty seasick over and over. I am so bad with motion sickness. I have to wear patches when I go swimming in the ocean. Over here, we've got a set that's raised, and we've got a giant chair that's almost as tall as me, and when I jump on it here, from the perfect camera angle, it looks like I'm miniature on this chair. It's kind of like a setup they used to use in Lord of the Rings.
Wow, this looks great, babe.
Thanks. Whoa! Oh, man.
There you go. You want to roll?
Yes, oh, and some butter, please, thanks.
Okay.
Fun fact, I used to tap dance with my sisters growing up, and I wanted to make a tap dancing video trick, but I was actually really rusty at tap dancing, so I called in some backup and we had a clever way to make it look like I was a pro tap dancer. Just as a filmmaker, I love making videos that you just can't tell how they were shot. And What also helps is I just realized I talk with my hands a lot. Anyway, good hanging out with all of you. I'll see you later.
In this video, I'm revealing 10 secrets behind my tricks. Like, do you know I don't shoot a house, but actually a set? Because in a home, you can't really get away with shooting things, I don't know, like this. And our first secret to kick it off is that we don't use green screen. So I don't know why this is here. We're gonna turn that off. All right, let's. So I love pushing our tricks to be as fully practical as possible, whether that means we actually put a real ice plunge in a living room, or we have a set built on a beach and we transition through the wall. Or one of my favorite examples of using no green screen is when I'm at a county fair, and at one point I stand on the chalk drawing and I'm struggling to hang on, but then I fall into the abyss of the drawing. And we were able to pull that video off with a latch door and a hole underneath. And then we fly in a piece of wood for our actress to stand on at the end to prove once again that it really is a chalk drawing. I love when it's practical. On to the next secret. So my videos look like it might be just me and a friend filming at home, but that is not true. There is actually an entire production team behind me. Hey! They're awesome, super creative, and I would trust them with anything. Oh, guys, speaking of trust fall. So I did start making these videos by myself, but over the years I've been lucky enough to grow a team, and we shoot out of this warehouse in LA. And it doesn't matter what your role is in the business, people on the finance team and people who are producers, we all join together on Mondays and we go to the writer's room to find the very best ideas. All right, for this next secret, let's talk about how much these videos cost to make. So we intentionally make my videos look DIY or homemade, and that's so that you believe into the magic a little bit more, when in fact, they're actually pretty expensive to pull off. We recently made a video where it costs like $10,000 for every finished second of the video, which is pretty nuts. We also just built a case for a brand new short film, Stranded Part 2, which I hope you enjoy because it is also our most expensive short film endeavor ever. The next secret is I don't make money the way most traditional YouTubers do, and that's because the YouTubers I know make the majority of their income from AdSense, which is when YouTube splits its ad revenue with its creators. But my ad revenue has been typically lower because the audience is so international, so the majority of my studio's funding has to come from things like brand sponsorships. Now, typically a brand would provide a creator with what we call talking points, and that's often why you might hear a creator present their sponsorships. Now, you probably won't believe this next secret. Now, surprisingly, I've never gotten hurt doing a stunt. Right now, I've clocked almost 160 stunts, from falls to dives to wire work. And this is the perfect time to also say, do not try any of this at home because we work with really amazing Hollywood professionals who know the ropes. But don't.
3, 2, 1.
One of my favorite stunts was one where I got to be shot backwards on wires. That was pretty fun. And recently got to do some stunts with Dude Perfect, and that's been slowly curing my fear of heights. I hope to continue doing a lot of safe stunt work. Knock on the good old wood. So surprisingly, working with bigger animals is usually easier than working with the smaller ones because the smaller ones can't usually hit their marks or be trained to do that. You hungry? I think he just wants to play. We've gotten to shoot with a lot of different horses as well as a polar bear, which surprisingly only took like 7 minutes to shoot with. So usually we make mock-ups with stuffed animals and our team just acts it out on what we want the animal to do, and we send that to the animal wranglers and they'll train them for a few days so they can hit their marks. We go through a ton of hard drive space every year because we're making so many videos, and some of these videos straight up fail. They don't work, like this one here. And this concept, Nate, my buddy, comes up and he's asking for the last slice of pizza, which I've already eaten. So I then begin to regurgitate that pizza, and you can see it's just really gross. It's kind of off-putting. And we shot this video in reverse, which is the cool part of the trick, but the story was kind of lacking, and we realized after we shot it, it just felt weird. So the lesson here is keep creating, because not all of them are gonna work out, and that's totally fine. So how long do these videos take to make on average? The answer might surprise you. Let me show you. Okay, so it doesn't take that long actually, but from writer's room all the way to posting, it takes probably on average 2 months per video to get made, but it really depends the set build and what the trick requires. For example, there's some videos that have taken us 6 months, 9 months to make. This one in particular, I remember it took almost a year to find this specific location, and we actually needed a specific grade of the slope at the park. So, you know, some of these tricks, especially when they require really specific perspective distances, they're hard to plan. Okay, ow, ow. So I have a lot of really cool props at the studio, including this giant donut here, which in the video I was a pastry thief, so we had to build this giant donut to interact with. We've also got like giant mugs, like this one here that we used in a video which they see. Did someone say time for props? So most of our props are made here in-house by our designers, mostly because it requires a lot of customization for these tricks to work, whether it's using a miniature item like this lighthouse here. I love playing with perspective, so it's so fun to get a real tactile miniature that you can use for the tricks. Or we'll have to custom design some sort of illusion box like this one, which makes your hand disappear, but an item magically pop out. Oh, you get it, it's a mirror. And the coolest prop that I know you've never seen before, exclusively designed for us by Mark Rober himself.
The last secret is I've got these super sticky plungers that help me climb up walls. Actually, it's just a rotating room. Cool. Maybe tell them to subscribe.
If you're down, I can kind of be a little more real with you today and just show you a lot of the failures. Like I've done so many other things besides Vine and TikTok, but really there's so many more iterations of it that just never really took off. When I was starting YouTube, I always wish somebody would tell me how it's really gonna be, not just tell me about their success and the millions of followers and views. When life keeps hitting you with all these failures, you just go out and you keep making stuff. If you're crazy enough to do something for a long period of time, eventually something's gonna hit. I always wish there was one of these when I was starting YouTube. I started in 2007 and there was no conferences for it. But if I were to come to one of those back then, I always wish somebody would kind of just tell me how it's really gonna be, not just tell me about their success and the millions of followers and views, which is great. You're gonna get a lot of great advice. But as I was coming here the day before, I had a different talk I wanted to give. And then I found my old iPhone 1 and it made me think of all these memories. I just started swiping. I don't know if you guys ever find yourself on your phone and you just start going through your photo reel and you're like, oh, it brings back all this nostalgia and different memories. And then you start connecting dots of like how you actually got here. So if you're down, I'm kind of be a little more real with you today and just show you some photos from my life and show you a lot of the failures, like not just these kind of failures where, I decided to go down a sled and nearly impale myself with a stick, but like the failures that you don't think about because you continue innovating and trying different things. Like I've done so many other things besides Vine and TikTok, and those are the big things that you maybe have heard of, but really there's so many more iterations of it that just never really took off. And I want to talk about those because I think those are really important so that you guys realize that as you're going about your careers, like it's gonna be tough, and I'm gonna show you, how I went through that. I love this. I don't know if this is a Bob Ross quote or just a meme, but he says, ever make mistakes in life? Let's just make them birds. Those little things you didn't mean to paint, turn them into something else. And so if you're down, I wanna go through my life in some photos. Now, this is me as a kid. My mom was incredible, my dad was awesome, but they didn't take many photos or videos of me in my life. And so this is one of the few photos I have, which is awesome. And that's why I thought for this talk, I'd have to recreate my life in AI. So we have the tech now to say, this is me as a little kid. I was very adorable. And I was homeschooled. I lived in Portland, Oregon. Anybody from Oregon here? Hey, a couple people, let's go. I was in Oregon, I lived on an apple orchard. So this was me, a homeschool, maybe if we take out homeschooled and we'll just say a kid growing up in Oregon. There, that's me. Dolly still can't figure it out. So I'm growing up on the apple orchard and we got to depict that as an explosion of a nebula, as everybody does. And so that was my childhood right there. And when I was 3 years old, my parents showed me Jurassic Park with my younger sisters who were younger than me. That movie changed my life. This is actually one of the shots, weirdly, that they do have, a home video of me watching Jurassic Park for the first time. And this is the moment I got into filmmaking. Like, I was terrified, but at the end of the VHS, they actually had a behind the scenes of how like Spielberg and ILM crafted the digital and real magic. And I was like, not that I understood that it was a job, but I was like, I want to do whatever that is. Like that live theater that's captured and put into movies sounds cool. And so I continued to take my parents' cameras, their home video cameras, make movies with my sisters. I don't know why we all look sad. I guess I was sad because I didn't have any money to buy film gear. So I decided, I was kind of entrepreneurial as a kid. I went and started mowing lawns. I ended up filming weddings as I upgraded my own gear. And I would do that every single weekend, shoot a wedding, edit, deliver for them. And then I decided, I want to go down to film school. I do want to try to be that Spielberg dream and be a director down in Hollywood. So I applied to a film school, and sadly, I didn't get in. I got a rejection letter. But I, decided there's a lot of different advice of you can't completely fail at something if you never stop trying. So I decided I would drive down to Los Angeles in my Prius and just go to the school and study music. So I was really into piano at the time. So I flew down to LA, and I had a scholarship in the music program, but it was not the film program that I really wanted to be in. So I decided that I realized I went to the film class, you could just walk in the back of the class and sit there, and no one ever questioned if you were in the major. And I don't know why I look so creepy, but that was me. I sat in the back of the class, but I still had to pay for the film class. It's not like I was cheating the system. And that was a big problem because I didn't have enough money to continue school at that point in my life. And so I decided I would have to come up with an idea. And I actually got pretty excited about this idea. And that little kid that you remember that was sad also got excited because of this idea. So this is where I'm gonna switch over to the phone that I found the other day. So iPhone came out, I think in June 2007. I got it in December. The first photo I ever took on this iPhone, by the way, it's $190,000 if you bought one and never opened it apparently. Pretty crazy. But after I got the dongle to plug in, this is the first photo of me. And I'm not wearing this beanie just because I was, stylish. It's because it was really cold out. And this is the second photo. It was my dad's truck, Mitsubishi. It must have been a big snowstorm because we don't usually get snow like this where I live in Oregon. But I was driving. I had to go to Panda Express. So I was driving, and there was it was crazy. There was cars in the ditch. But I finally got to Panda, and that's where I had this revelation of what I was going to do to earn money to continue paying for the film school that I was sneaking into. And also I had a picture of the hours of Panda Express because they could also just say every day, 10 to 10. So the idea was this, and this is a screenshot I have on my phone, Final Cut King. This was gonna be a YouTube channel where I was gonna teach my audience about Final Cut Pro. And I got this idea, actually it was a total ripoff from Andrew Kramer, who is like a god, lowercase g, and he's teaches After Effects. Anybody learn from, I'm sure there's a lot of people in the room, yes, who have learned from Andrew Kramer. I got to give him a hug once and I cried. But Andrew Kramer was teaching After Effects in amazing high quality HD tutorials, which was hard to find in 2007. And he was funny. And I was like, oh, someone's got to do this for Final Cut Pro. And I checked, and literally nobody was doing it. So I went on, copied his site, the same design, did my own website. Sorry, Andrew. And I took all my knowledge that I was currently learning from Final Cut Pro books. I was reading all these books, checking them out from libraries, and that's how I was learning. There was no tutorials. And so I was posting them. So I get that idea, I create the YouTube account, and I go down to Biola University, my school, and this is my dorm, this is my headquarters for Final Cut King, and I just start making tutorials for that entire rest of the semester. And eventually, it's around the time of summer, right before I move out, my roommates had enough with me. I found this photo I forgot. He said, make sure to clean up your area. I can help tomorrow afternoon, best to vacuum and dust everything then too. Very passive aggressive, Nathan. So Nathan, I moved out into my Prius for the summer, and I slept out of there as I made some videos, worked on the channel, kept making tutorials. But I was like a filmmaker. I always thought I had a vision, and directors do that thing where they have a vision if they point their fingers that way. And the truth is, though, wasn't making enough money on YouTube. AdSense had just started, or I had just gotten into the program. Maybe at the time, I'm making 8 to 9, maybe 10,000 on AdSense, which was enough for me as a college, eating noodles, just the food part, but living in LA, paying the rent, and also going to school was not gonna cover it. So I had to come up with another idea. So that's when I went to jail, or I was an extra in a TV show called Leverage, and that's a better way to explain it. And I was prisoner number 23. And this is a picture of me on my first day of the shoot. I was so excited to make whatever, $300 a day, mostly not because I wanted to act, but because I got to be next to the camera people. I got to see how the crew was working, the behind the scenes, and it was all so fun until this first AD busted me for having a phone out on set, and then I got sent away. But it was a couple weeks later that I came out, luckily, with a viral video called Jedi Kittens. At this point, I had been listening to the audience, like the tutorials were working great, but then I noticed people just said like, hey, we really want to see like an example short film. So if you're gonna talk about a lightsaber, maybe make like a 1-minute lightsaber example as a skit. And I kind of saw that comment coming up a lot, and I made one. And then it was like, when I posted this in the comments, I was like, next week, lightsaber tutorial for Final Cut Pro. But what really took off was the cat video, which was kind of accidental. I didn't expect that at all. In fact, it went so well that I was like, well, George Lucas made sequels. I'm gonna make a sequel called Jedi Kitten Strike Back. But there was a problem again. I didn't have money to fund, the $500, $600 that I needed to make that short film. So that's when we ended up going to this conference, me and my buddy. I guess the reason I have this photo is because I was squatting at the time in LA. It was a few years after the house crisis. So there was a lot of foreclosed homes that were empty, and so we just snuck in there for a summer. And that's where we, all I'm saying is I had no place to live during the summers. And I would go to the conferences, and my dad would run these conferences, so I would be the production team. And I would say also that $400 stipend for the hotel, can you give me that cash so that I can just because I could sleep in the back of the area with the projectors. So I was sleeping backstage, shooting this, making enough money, and then I funded Jedi Kitten Strike Back. Now, Jedi Kitten Strike Back was awesome because it got even more views, it was more viral, and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. This is way different than the tutorials. This is growing like a mainstream audience. In fact, it was like getting on the news, which was kind of crazy.
It has become an internet hit, and now we're about to meet the man behind the hit video.
And I'm not gonna lie, it started going to my head.
Well, you have a massive career ahead of you.
I don't know why I thought that was just funny. So the weird thing about YouTube, the cool thing too about it back in the day, they had this huge banner. To me, it was huge because it got a lot of clicks. It was on the side of your profile, and that's where I'd put my upsells to training courses, which I started making that were 10 hours of material. But it was this little want more, free training and whatever. They gave you a 1-by-1 box, and I was like, genius idea. What if this is before you could make merch. What if I make my own merch? I find a person in China who can print something for me, and then I'll bring it here and I'll put it in that banner so the audience will buy it, because then I'll be a millionaire when I launch that. And so I was like, merch, done. But I had to make money in order to buy the first inventory of $600 of merch. So I went back to my roots, went up to Portland for the rest of the summer, and I was like, I used to pop kettle corn. Anybody a kettle corn fan? It's kind of a nuanced yes. But I popped kettle corn all growing up, elementary and middle school, which I think is probably illegal, but I worked for this company. And then I decided if I take their recipes, because I memorized them, and did that on my own fairs, I could make $500 in one day. And so I decided to license not their name, but the recipe, gave them a cut, 30%, set up my own. That's my mom running the booth. And then bam, that day, $500, prints money. If anyone wants a great, seriously, I don't know why people aren't just owning a conglomerate of kettle corn companies, because it's genius. But I was like, sweet, I'm gonna put my merch there. So I did. My brand was Final Cut King, so it made sense that maybe I'd take a few of the initials, and I made this. And then I got the box. I remember opening the box and showing my roommates, and they were like, and so I have 4 sales. To this day, I should have brought one. I have 200 left in my garage because they are not sold at all. So that was another fail. But the courses were starting to sell a little bit. I would release a course that was 10 hours of material. It would take me a good 2 months to make, but I could make $5,000 to $10,000 the opening weekend of the launch, and then it would trail in some revenue. So I was like, that could work long term. Which gave me another idea. What if I don't just do Final Cut King, but there's a lot of people at the time switching to MacBook Pros, realizing that they're way better, and so I'm gonna make courses for MacBook Pros. So this is actually real. There's a channel out there that exists called University of Mac. It has 8 videos.
Hey, this is Zach King with universityofmac.com. I'm going to be checking out how to insert page numbers on your pages.
Literally, that is the tutorial idea, terrible idea that failed. Also, I just didn't like talking about how to do things like that. So I was really wondering at the time, I had just done my first visit to YouTube up in San Francisco. At the same time, I was on that trip, drove by Pixar, which is the dream studio I always wanted to work at as a kid. And I was like, maybe this YouTube thing, I don't know if this is actually gonna work out. Maybe I should just get a real job, plan for the future. I'm about to graduate film school anyway. I'm gonna have to, get a job that pays the bills. So Pixar makes sense. I've always wanted to work there. So
I had been doing some visual effects. I created this. I put a whole reel together. I'll play for you a piece of it.
First, there's sour. Then there's sweet.
Oh, thanks.
Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone.
So I don't know if anybody from Pixar is here, but like I would still submit that. But unfortunately, they said no. Try again next year. So I still always thought, and I don't know if any of you have this thought, but I'm always enamored by the product business. Having a physical product in a store, it just sounds cool to me. So I was like trying to invent a product. This was the first iteration of a camera product that everyone was gonna buy, that nobody ever bought because it was really complicated to set up, and it's made of zip ties. So I made a new product called the Spider Cam, and this was made out of PVC. It was basically $25 of PVC for me and skateboard wheels for me to build, and I would sell it for like $75. And I was like, genius, this is gonna sell out. At the time, Kessler Crane was a big camera company, and I was like, this is gonna blow up. DJI was just starting to, and they were getting a lot of traction. I'm like, I'm gonna be the next billionaire here. So I started manufacturing these in my dorm room. I hired my roommates. We all were making assembly line PVC spider cams. And then when I posted the video, like launching this thing, I noticed a lot of the comments looked like this. They were like, this doesn't look too complicated to build. The dollies are great for cinematography, so I'm gonna build one soon. And that was a fail. But I would have been a billionaire. And at this point, the college savings is dwindling. The only thing holding me together is the training courses that are bringing in some revenue. But I keep taking everything I make from a video and putting it to the next video. Like this one. I wanted to do 7,000 Post-it notes. That's what I spent the $400 on. And I hand animated all these myself and made this kind of like fun Mario's being chased by all these video game characters. Like Pac-Man here, you'll see chases him and goes through this picture and then continues his thing in Pac-Man. But the problem was I shot this in an art studio at the school, and turns out that picture is really valuable that I ripped through, that I didn't put that there. And so the school fined me $200, and so that video was a net negative. And I was like, okay, now Zach, now we gotta go to get rich quick kind of schemes. And I unfortunately did have a good experience on one of these. It wasn't even a scheme. I submitted a Coke commercial that I was like, nobody's gonna submit this, and turns out nobody did. I won by default, I won $5,000. And so that was like a few years prior. I was like, I wonder if that's still a thing. And I Googled, there's this car company thing. They're trying to do a PSA for safety videos, like how to get people to buckle up. And I was like, oh, genius, I could like crash a car. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to my mind, but I lived in Oregon on a farm, so I mean, we would do that every once in a while. And I was like, I could get a car for $1,000, so I was already out $1,000, and I get my dad to help me. We strap a camera in this car for the epic ending shot of this safety video.
Yeah. Coming! Andy's coming to you!
Yeah, definitely don't recommend that. Luckily, though, when they announced the winners, I mean, I wasn't on the list, so that was a fail. The list has like 3 winners and then runner-ups, and I wasn't even on the runner-ups. But anyways, I was kind of like all out of luck. I was like, okay, if anything, the training courses, maybe I could do that for a living. I was trying to do the math of like, if someday I want to have a family, I'd have to make like 25 training courses a year, which I could do. But anyways, it's spring break. The school closes down. You don't get a dorm room. And if you haven't seen the pattern, like I don't have another place to stay. So I go on a bike ride for 5 days, start in San Francisco, going to Los Angeles. It's about 500 miles. And I get back and I'm exhausted. But I have a really good idea from that one bike ride because I was inspired by San Francisco. I was like, man, there's all these tech people. They just started Instagram video at the time. And I was like, you know, it could be interesting. And this is actually real. At the time I had, this is 2012, barely, end of 2011, 3,000 followers. I was like, you know what, it could be really cool if I make my own app like Mark Zuckerberg. So I was scrolling on Instagram a lot, noticing one pattern. I don't know if you guys can realize the pattern here, but for a hot moment on Instagram, everything was text. Like over 75% was text. And I was like, this is the market speaking. What they really want is something that I'm gonna write on my whiteboard that you probably can't read, but it's called Quotable.
And so the idea is everyone wants inspiring messages and texts and quotes, but what if it's from your friend? What if you say something really funny and then I write that down and I tag you, and then it's basically like a weird version of Twitter that I created the mock-up and then my friends tried it for a day and they never went on the second day, so that was a fail. But Quotable was gonna be my big other billion-dollar business. So I'm thinking to myself, like at this time, like in the back of my head, YouTube is, maybe that could be a thing, but maybe I need to get a real job in the film industry. You know, again, that's been the goal. Let's make a feature film, let's make TV shows. And it happens that I was on a trip to make YouTube videos across the entire country. I'm traveling like 10,000 miles. And in Washington, DC, I have lunch with a random like co-producer who introduced me to the executive producer, to the boss of one of the discovery departments, and they offer me a job. And get this, the job is like 6 figures. So I'm like all in, and I just start the interview process. And the only thing that was important to me was like if my friend, who you saw in a few of those photos, Aaron, could also go with me and get the same offer and do the same job, and because we're co-conspirators in a lot of these things. And they were like, yes. And I was like, okay, this is cool. We did the interview for 2 months. We showed what we would do if we were producing there. And we go in for the interview. It's like one of the last interviews, and it's in LA with their LA division. And at the end of the interview, it's all cordial, it's all cool. He asked me, like, do you have any questions for us here at Discovery? And I don't know why. I think to me it's a God moment, but you know, for me, I just felt like I should tell him my situation, what I was doing with YouTube, and that was the hardest part of the decision for me. And I was like, I don't know. I have 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm doing these courses, but it's not really making enough money. It's paid off school, but it's like not. I don't know if it's long term. And he like paused, and he ended up saying like, I don't know, if I were you, that sounds kind of cool. Like maybe he didn't want to hire me, but he was like, that sounds kind of interesting, and it sounds more cutting edge than honestly what we're doing. Like here, you're just gonna be producing what we're already doing, but there it sounds like you can produce and do your own what you want to produce, so maybe. And so I left that meeting, met with my buddy in the lobby, and I was like, did you feel like that's a no? And he's like, I don't know, it could be cool. And I was like, I asked him this and I explained, and then we decided to not do it. And I mean, wouldn't you know, it's one of those weird life God moments where Vine came out later that year, a couple months later, and I jumped on that, because again, if you didn't see the pattern, I just jump on whatever comes out and is interesting, and I try it. And I happened to try that. And I tried a lot of other things though. I tried Snapchat shows, because you know, Sean Duras, who's here, I was like, he's killing it on Snapchat. I can do that too. Obviously, it's probably just because my drawing sucks. Meerkat and Periscope, I don't know if you remember these, but they were like live for journalism, but also I was like at the time writing a feature film that we were gonna shoot live, and people were gonna be amazed that it had like cars blowing up and flipping on Periscope and be like, what is this? And it would go super, but then the apps both shut down before we went into production. I thought Byte, I was banking on this for a long time. It briefly went to the top charts. Spent a lot of time there. I converted like half of my video library at the time into 3D. I paid a bunch of rotoscopers to go through and make it, because there was this pitch I got in this one meeting from this, I think, wealthy billionaire. He was like, it's gonna be a big 3D thing and movement, and I would be the first one if I did it. And now that I think about it, I think I paid his company to rotoscope. And I accidentally let my kids run in the warehouse that one time. I built a pizza oven that actually turns out that my audience said like, oh, that concrete is very like toxic when you heat it up. I started a live show on TikTok that didn't do well. I started a live show on Instagram because I thought that maybe it was just TikTok's problem, but it turns out it's a me problem.
Let's go!
I was excited to get my first YouTube original, and then their team shut down like a couple last year. And so sorry. And I thought the spherical videos would really take off, and none of you were wearing them. It's just me. Okay. I dyed my hair blonde for a video that actually technically didn't work in visual effects. So that was the last 6 months of my life explaining why I had blonde hair. I made mistakes, built sets on beaches where the tides came up. We didn't check the report. I spent a lot of money on this one. I built an app called Soda Jetpack Zach, which was mimicking one of my videos on Vine that was really viral, where you'd fly and collect soda, but apparently nobody really wants to do that. I was even going to Dubai to start a media agency at one point. This was actually a very serious thing. My wife and I had recently gotten married. We were talking about what, and taking like the first 5 team members, we were like, go start a Dubai division for 2 years and then come back and finish the American stuff. That never went through. Fish on a Stick, this was gonna be a big show that no one's here heard of. I started a VR company doing magic, so you could reach into like items and your hand would be in a different part of the room. But it turns out everyone, that's not the video, she's just playing something else, but everyone got sick playing ours, so we shut down the business. Even Spielberg himself reached out to me and wanted to turn my book, kids book, into a movie series, so they optioned it by Amblin. I went in for meetings with their team, and then it's been, I just haven't gotten a call back. So I always wish somebody told me that when life keeps hitting you with all these failures, that you just go out and you keep making stuff. That no matter where you are in the process, I'm gonna read you this note, because this is the note that I found that I forgot I wrote this to myself probably in 2013. It's called Thoughts About the Gap. And it's like, I wish somebody told me this earlier when I first started, before I jumped into the mud, that there's this gap, that you spend years and years of your life making stuff that just not good. Like you see the vision in your head, but then it just never turns out to be what you set out to make in the first place. It might have some potential, but it's not good. But your taste is developing, and that might be getting good, but your work doesn't match, which is really frustrating. And a lot of people quit right there. That's where, you guys made it, you're still in the room. But a lot of people have left because of that. And they know that their work needs that special thing and they can't seem to find it, that one thing that makes them stick out from the crowd. And I guess I always wanted to be told that we all go through this. This is a normal part of the process. The process is frustrating, but it's normal. And all we can do as creatives is put ourselves in front of the craft and do the work. Get on a schedule, get disciplined, and publish your work. Put it out there and see what sticks. And also, whenever possible, it should be fun, right? It should be fun. This is a long journey that we're gonna be on. And so I learned that you really gotta discover your voice to make something that's gonna hit and do it over and over. And for me, discovering my voice is going back to my roots. It was my grandfather who taught me magic. We would drive around the Pacific Northwest on the weekends, and he would teach me magic. And it was because of him, when Vine came out, I was like, sorry, I didn't expect to cry. I think it's like emotional to go through your iPhone reel that, it's been 15 years. But when Vine came out, I was like, what can I do that's 6 seconds long? I have nothing. My short films take 5 minutes. They take 3 months to make. I put all my heart into them. There's nothing I can do. And I thought, what's cool is magic. And just the thought of my grandfather came back. He had already passed away. But I just thought, magic, it's so quick. There's a moment of inspiration, and it's wonderful. And I can do it with visual effects because I wasn't a magician anymore. And so even though I took that from my past, there's other things. Like I was so into Legos as a kid. And it's fun now that I have my own 3 kids that I can make small videos here and there that nod to some of my favorite memories. Stepping on Legos, the worst thing in your life. But we can somehow turn that and make it funnier. As a kid, I hadn't seen this photo. My mom just sent this to me, but apparently I was really into pirates, which makes sense because I spent the last couple years making pirate short films. Kind of like Michelle Carey, finding a pirate ship that's real and going out to film. And it's crazy enough, people like Terry Crews want to be in them, and we've done a whole series with them. And I used to be a tap dancer. It's super weird, but I tap danced with my sister for many years. And small little bits of inspiration just make it their way into our current work now. Even if it's just this tiniest seed of something, that's where the ideas come from. And so my message to you isn't a bunch of advice, and whatever you've heard here, maybe some of it will apply, maybe it won't. I'm not really a huge algorithm tips guy, but my message to you is if you're crazy enough to do something for a long period of time, eventually something's gonna hit. And in the meantime, I think it's really important that you love what you do, because what you didn't see on my camera reel is there's so much more on the camera roll that I'm not sharing today. every time I see a beautiful sunset, I film that thing because I'm like, I know I'm gonna see one maybe in a month or something that's this cool, but like that is worth capturing. Or, you know, for me, the other 85% of my camera roll is having a life with my family and my kids and my wife, and just having these moments that even if everything else fails, I'm gonna know that 15 years, like let's say I'm still up here, I wouldn't be up here, but let's say, you know, I was in the group with you today, 15 years later, like even if all that failed, I still had all of these camera roll memories. And I think it's really important to live a life outside of your actual work. I know you're gonna hear a lot of stuff about the grind, and that's important, and I did that for many, many years too, and I still grind, there's seasons. I wanted to end on this quote of Ralph Waldo Emerson, which I've always kind of carried close to me, which says, don't be too timid and squeamish about your actions. You know, life is an experiment, and the more experiments you make, the better. And every time I read that, I'm like, yeah, because that's all that you just saw in my camera roll. It's like, life is just a big experiment. Also, I just want to end, hang in there. Thank you guys, thanks for being here.
I'm going head to head against my producers to see who knows my sports videos the best, and the winner's gonna get this giant mystery prize. All right, so let's get into it. Let's take it up a notch.
Welcome, Zach. Today, we're gonna be watching your top 10 sports videos and ranking them from most viewed to least viewed. Now, let's see how you stack up against your producers. They have the brains, they have the brawn, they will never be outdone.
Emil and Sarah, you're going down.
Easy. We made them. Zach was in them.
All right, here are our first two sports.
Wait, Fortnite and Quidditch?
This is totally a sport.
Not a
Harry
sport.
Potter plays it. And Fortnite, absolutely a sport.
Not
this
a
is
sport.
awesome, dude. Esports.
I'm gonna say Fortnite is not a sport. I strongly believe that.
That's not sports, guys. Hey, can we get a real sport? Hey, can we get a real sport? Thank you.
Fine, here's golf with Tom Brady.
This video is gonna be pretty hard to beat because we got to shoot with the GOAT, Tom Brady. And now working with celebrities like Tom usually comes with a super strict timeline. So we only had about an hour to shoot with him. We normally take anywhere from 3 to 5 hours to shoot a video. So this had to be done really quickly.
Fun fact, I was pushing the ball. I was the one pushing the ball that was, I was behind it. I was running.
Wait, didn't you guys almost hit the camera at one point?
Yeah, I don't like to remember that part.
Because we shot practically, there wasn't much to do in VFX. Now, I guess there was tracking, rotoscoping, coloring. We had to delete some people. Yeah.
So now we got to rank this thing. Where do you think it places?
I think this video got about 180 million views.
I feel like to be safe on the first one, we should just put it smack in the middle.
I think so too.
Somewhere in the middle. It's called mid-range.
Tom Brady, I know you're the GOAT, #1, but in this case, you're in #5.
Spiking into the next place is the volleyball video.
I love this video.
You know what's great about this video is that we didn't even need to shoot it with Zach because his back is to us the whole time.
The hardest part of the shoot was the fact that we shot on this cursed beach called Zuma Beach, where every video that we shoot there goes entirely wrong. So of course the weather was overcast that day and we were worried if we'd have to do a total sky replacement, but it actually turned out beautiful because sunsets in LA, even though it's pollution, baby, it looks great on camera.
How do you feel about that?
That was great. I know this one got a lot of views.
We know on TikTok it did.
Yes, and Instagram. I think it
Instagram,
did
yeah.
really well.
So when we posted this video, the thing I remember is everyone in the audience was like, oh my gosh, look at that jump cut. See, right here, look at this. That person just completely moves. The audience probably hated that.
I'm thinking, Emil, this is kind of high up there.
You think 4?
4.
All right.
It did well though, it's maybe 3rd. Next up, skateboarding with Tony Hawk.
So I think this video was made before my time, and I don't really know much about it.
I used to love to do that when I was little.
The tech decks?
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm athletic, but this video was very challenging for me. I was raised a piano player, so I wasn't allowed to skateboard because I would break my fingers.
Just because it's older, I want to say maybe
Lower end?
It's either on this side of Tom or over
I
here.
think 7.
7's a safe choice.
For now.
For now.
No, I kind of think it's 6th place. I'm gonna go with 6th.
Next up, pickleball.
Oh, I love pickleball.
I know this one.
This video took us over 4 months to film.
2,000 miles apart from both locations. The first part we shot in the Midwest with That's Amazing. And then we shot here in LA with Mythical Kitchen.
Honestly, stepping into the kitchen in pickleball warrants being yelled at.
Get back to work! Yes, sir!
There's 2 collabs in this pickleball audience. People love pickleball, so I feel like this video did super well. I'm almost gonna say second place.
I say the payoff trick, while it happens a little bit later, it's also a little bit niche, maybe. I think that it's gonna be lower.
We're thinking lower, 8 or 9.
I think it did well when it came out, yeah.
Do 8 for now.
I'm gonna say second, yeah.
Tony Horton, how many Tonys do we do?
This time it's legendary P90X creator. If you know, you know. The audience might be too young to remember him though. His infomercials were everywhere when I was in college.
Everything that made P90X such a huge hit.
This video was crazy because we shot it on a treadmill that doesn't have power. You just run to power and then it just keeps getting faster and faster. So I kept losing my balance.
Yeah, Zach, again, being unathletic. It's classic. Actually, fun fact, Zach is a very big runner.
Yep, just
All he
triathlons
does.
and things.
I'm just realizing now I do a lot of mirror tricks too. I'm running out of ideas again.
That's a cool trick.
The mirror. I think
People
those do
love
well.
mirror tricks.
This one I remember was an absolute banger.
Feel like we can place it on the higher end?
Yeah.
I almost want to say number 1.
I don't know if it'll stay at 3, but I think you
Yeah.
can go to 3 for now.
I don't know all the sports videos you're going through, but for now I'm gonna put this as number 1.
Next video is bowling with Jason Belmonte.
Jason Belmonte is incredible. He's actually one of the greatest, no, I think he is the greatest bowler of all time.
Oh man, that form.
He was such a good bowler.
It's crazy.
We actually made several videos, but if this is the most viewed one, I want to say it did really well, but I don't remember.
We rented a whole bowling alley for this, do you remember?
Yeah, that was really cool. And
That
then
was
we
really
actually
fun.
got to bowl the
Yeah.
whole time afterwards. As iconic as he is and as fun as that was,
Yep.
I don't think it hit that hard.
I feel like I mostly remember videos that did incredibly well.
Are we saying between Tom Brady?
I'm saying
You're saying
9 or
here?
10, man.
7th place, maybe? I'm gonna go 7th place.
For now, bowling is a 9.
Next, we have ping pong with Pongfinity.
One of my favorite sports that I'm actually semi-okay at.
These guys were awesome. Actually, they visited the studio. We played a bunch of ping pong.
Did they give you private lessons? Is that why?
They like gave us lessons for hours.
Wow.
They had me do a trick shot, which was like impossible on a skateboard, but after a couple hundred shots, I actually got it. Oh, there it is.
I was there too. I was pulling out the ping pong table.
I think the video, to be honest, was subpar in not the video, but the view count.
I think it might be 10.
For some reason, I feel like it did low, so I'm gonna say 8th place.
I'm not gonna do that.
Sorry, Pongfinity.
Love you guys.
Next up, basketball with the professor.
Okay, this is such a fun video. I love a good perspective trick.
Dude, the professor's so clean with it.
Oh, wow.
And that trick is so clean.
Iconic.
Honestly, it's a great video.
What was funny about the behind the scenes, we actually never had a hoop up there. That was a pillow taped on the wall. And I actually challenged him to a little game, and he toasted me. Therefore, I'm gonna say this video did not do well. It's 10th place.
I think this could be in the higher levels.
You think it's a 2?
Actually, I think it did okay, so I'm gonna say 9th place.
I mean, he balled.
He's a 2?
The professor was really popular on YouTube when this video came out. So.
I trust you.
Next, we have skateboarding with Sky Brown.
Sky Brown is amazing. This was so much fun. She was actually at the Olympics this year and got a medal, and this video turned out so fun.
This was my
Cool.
first collaborative production I'd ever done.
Really?
It was crazy working with Sky because she
Aw.
could nail the trick every time.
I remember it did really well. I can't remember how well, but I'm gonna say it's at least 4th place.
Awesome video. Stoked to have worked with Sky Brown.
And the last sports trick we have is cycling.
Okay, this video counts as a sport because I am cycling.
Did you go to London for this one?
This was before my time. Weren't you there?
Oh, wow. No, I didn't get invited. Well, I like to imagine in these videos, like, what was everyone who's on the Ferris wheel thinking? Went
must
from a
have been
nice,
scared.
peaceful ride into a roller coaster.
And did you know they took a whole bike to London for that video?
Why did they buy a bike?
I feel like this video didn't do as well as I thought it would.
I think this one's cool. Number 1's all that's left, so 1 it is.
I'm just gonna put it last for now, but don't I get to change the order?
Now that you've seen all the top 10 sports videos, we'll give you 30 seconds to rearrange your guesses. But once those 30 seconds are up, that's your final answer.
I'd rather get the best one and the worst one correct. Out of all these videos, did the London Eye do the worst?
We put that as number 1, but that's because we left number 1 open.
I remember it didn't do great.
London Eye is up there.
So I'm gonna move Sky Brown from 4th place. I'm gonna put her at 1st place.
I feel like Tom Brady's gonna be low-high.
And I actually think Pickle move that to 4th.
Oh, Horton was pretty good, though. People love those mirror tricks.
Tony at 2.
I wish we had Quidditch back in here. This is our final answer.
My final answer is locked in, but now we gotta see who actually won the mystery prize.
Whoa. We have tallied up your scores and have determined the winner of the giant mystery prize.
Well, actually, it's not that big.
With a grand point total of 2-1, the winner of the giant mystery box is the producer team!
You're not joking? Dude. You don't want to make it big again for us? That was way more exciting.
Now open it up and see what's inside.
What is that? Okay.
No way.
It's a parachuting guy!
No way.
Well, that little parachute man is going to be you in about 1 second.
Is it skydiving?
Thank you, Peacock!
Today I'm doing chores using magic.
You like here, buddy? Let's see if we can make it a little bigger for you. There you go. Here you go. Where's the other sock holes go, huh, buddy? Hey, I found the other one!
Thank you.
Take your time. I got all day.
How many times?
Where's the other sock holes go, huh, buddy? It's in here.